everyone, welcome back to another video. So today in this video I'm going to continue the page in Magical Dawn that I was working on in my last video, where I shared a bunch of coloring supplies that you can use that will add glitter and shine to your coloring pages. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'll make sure that one is linked in the upper right hand corner. But I've been working on a page in this book and I'm loving the way that it's turning out. It has so much glitter and shine and sparkle on it. And so today in this video I am going to finish up the page and bring it to life so we can see how all of this comes together with all of the different mediums that are already on the page. If you check the description box down below, you'll find links down there for my Facebook group, my Etsy shop, my email list, and my Patreon if you'd like to support me there. I also now have channel membership. If you would like more information about that, you can click the join button down below the video. So this is the page I've been working on finishing up. I sat and colored it and decided to film it, and I figured I would just come back and add a little bit of commentary and talk y'all through exactly what I was doing on this page. This way, if you like some of the ideas I share, you can use them on your own coloring pages. So first I decided to grab some Posca and start filling in all of the little bubbles with my white Posca. I am using the thicker Posca here just because I really wanted to get that white paint down on top of these little dots and be able to cover most of the line art. But I feel like on this page I have been focused on being a lot more creative than I usually do, and it's so much fun to use all of these different mediums all on one page, because in the end when they all come together they look just gorgeous. And when this page is finished, you will see how much glitter and sparkle and shine it has all throughout. After I had all the Posca laid down on top of all of the little bubbles, I decided to grab my skinny little paintbrush and my acrylic paint and go over all of the Posca just to make sure all of the line art had been covered and to add a little bit of iridescent shine. To do this, I'm using the Deco Art Enchanted acrylic paint in the color magenta. I will have it linked in the description box below, but if you saw my last video, you probably saw how super cool this acrylic paint is. When you lay it on top of black, it actually changes colors. The darker the paper is that you lay it on, the more drastic the change in color is. Then I decided to color in the rainbow. To do this, I'm using my Jelly Roll pens. This blue that I'm using is called Blue Star, and it's from the Stardust set. It is super, super glittery. In this next section of the rainbow I'm coloring, I am using the Pink Star Jelly Roll, which is also from the Stardust collection. And then I decided to use some green in the last part of the rainbow. For this, I'm using the Lime Star Jelly Roll, which is also from the Stardust collection. My goal here was to match the colors of the jelly rolls that I was using with the rainbow dust that I colored in using my Prismacolors. Now I have my Deco Art Enchanted acrylic paint in the color magenta, and I'm just laying this paint all around the words rainbow dust. If you saw my previous video, you'll know that on the outer section of the sign, I did the same thing. I laid down this Deco Art Enchanted acrylic paint, and then I used my stickles right over the top of it so that it has lots of sparkle and shine. Now I'm using my stickles in the color Sunflower. I absolutely love this color because it looks gold, but it has a little bit of a yellow tint to it, and it's just super, super pretty. But I'm using it to fill in the words rainbow dust. I just thought this would be a really quick and easy way to get these words colored in. I thought having the gold here would add all that much more to the page. Okay, y'all, so here's where I changed my mind just a little bit after I had already laid that acrylic paint down, and I decided to grab my Prismacolors because I wanted the center of this label on the bottle to look a little bit pink, just to bring in some more of that shade from the rainbow dust and the pink that I had in the rainbow. So to do this, I'm using the colors Process Red and Pink, and I'm just very lightly shading with the pink all throughout the center of the label. Then I'm using the Process Red to go around the edges just because I want to add a little bit more depth and dimension, and I am pulling that Process Red into the center, and I'm going very, very lightly because I don't want too much of that color in the center of this label. I want it to look like a very light, pretty pale pink. Along the outer edge of the label, there were some little black lines that looked kind of like what the artist wanted to be, maybe a stitching or something. So I decided to grab my white Posca and cover up all of those lines. Then I grabbed my stickles in the color Crystal, and I decided to go over the pink and give this a bit of an iridescent shine. Then I decided to use the stickles here on the top as well as my sunflower stickles to add some sparkle to all of those little scallops. Now I'm using the Blue Star Jelly Roll again from the Stardust collection, and I'm just coloring in this area here that frames the pink part of the label. I'm trying to use the same colors that I used in the rainbow just to bring a little bit of balance to the page. You can see now that I grabbed the green, which was the Lime Star from the Stardust collection, and I'm just going around the outer edge. Now I'm using my stickles in the color Sunflower, and I'm just using it to fill in all of these scallops down here at the bottom. Now I've grabbed some Prismacolors, and I'm using Indigo Blue, Cerulean Blue, and Sky Blue Light. I'm going to go ahead and use these three colors to color in all of these gems. I decided that I wanted to bring the shades of blue that I used in the top of this bottle down into these gems just to add some more balance to the page. Now in some of these, I'm only able to use two of the colors because the spaces are so small and I don't have a whole lot of room to be able to move the color around. And I really wanted to make sure in all of the little teeny tiny spaces within these gems that I can still have a spot to leave a little bit of a highlighted area using the Sky Blue Light, just so that they look a little bit reflective. Then I decided to grab my Posca, and I'm using the Posca to go over all of the black line art and completely cover it up. That will help to give these gemstones a little bit more of a realistic look. Now I'm doing these gemstones the same exact way that I did the one there on the bottom. I am trying to use all three colors, but in most cases I'm only able to fit the indigo blue and the sky blue light just to pull the color down a little bit. When you have such tiny spaces, it's really difficult to be able to use three colors. But the Posca does actually really help with the gemstones because you're able to use that to really whiten up all of those lines and completely get rid of that line art. In a case like this where you're working with super tiny little spaces, it's probably best to use a Posca with the finest tip or any other acrylic paint pen that you may have. After using the Posca one time, I did have to wait for it to dry and then use it again and go over all of the lines a second time. I just really wanted to make sure all of the line art was covered. After using the Posca and getting rid of all of the line art, I did come back with my darkest Prismacolor, the indigo blue, and add quite a bit more color in there, mostly at the edges of each one of the spaces within the gemstones. Now I'm using the sky blue light to pull the indigo down just a little bit and blend all of the colors together. Then I decided to use my sunflower stickles to add all the final touches to the gemstone and also to finish off the ribbons that were hanging off of the bottle. Just look at all of this beautiful glitter, shine, and bling. I absolutely love this. Y'all, I am so excited that I finally finished this page. I love all the glitter and the sparkle and the shine. If you didn't see the previous video to this one, where I shared several different coloring supplies that you can use to make your pages sparkle and shine, I will make sure I link that in the upper right hand corner. I also have a couple of videos on this page that consisted of a couple tutorials where I did the watercolor background, and then I showed how I did all of these stars in the background and all of the different mediums I used. But this page has so much on it. It has acrylic paint and stickles and Prismacolors and Posca pens, but all of the glitter just screams happiness. I love the way that it turned out. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.